Management of deeds and records, both physically and digitally, is a huge responsibility of the probate judge. What experience do you have that qualifies you to perform this duty, and how knowledgeable are you of the process?
Sounds to me.
That's you, John.
Well, I have been an accountant, and we do filing and recording, and that's kind of what we do. The probate office does collect and file and record and make public record almost any document you want to put in there. If you want to file a piece of paper that says you're not a pink elephant, you can go to the probate judge and pay a fee, and it becomes a matter of public record. All of the code itself talks about how these records have to be maintained and filed and recorded so that when they are public record, they are easily accessible. Some things like adoptions are not a matter, but they're private, they're sealed and can't be in the public record. Improving access to that, I think Judge Martin has created a very efficient machine down there, and we're certainly going to keep that going. Technology continues to improve, and I believe in continuous improvement. So we're going to be looking for ways to make the public information more accessible to the public, whether that's more access online, more availability in the office for computers, easier access. But again, in the code, there is a whole list of how you maintain those records. And it's pretty much, like I said, a cookbook. You read it, make sure you comply with the law, and we're certainly going to do that.
Management of deeds and records, you're basically talking about just administration. And anytime you're talking about government administration, there are always going to be publications you have to follow. My past with the Marine Corps, I was an admin officer. So one of the things we had to do was follow federal publications. But federal publications and state publications are not all that different. They spell out what you have to do. And especially when you're talking about just the admin side, I'm not going to say it's simple because there's a lot to it, but it is written out how you're supposed to manage it. And it might be how you file. It might be what information to file, what to redact. It might be how long to keep these records before you destroy them. If you're going to destroy them, because you don't destroy all of them. So knowledge of those things, just the way that I've had to work with those have prepared me for this. With my role with the City of Anniston as a finance director, we also had the same thing. We had to follow state level publications. The main thing you have to do when you're talking about administration is stay up to date on the publications, make sure that if there's any changes you're aware of, and again, follow them to the letter. Thank you.
Back in 1997, I began working for a lawyer in town, Mr. Hank Watson, and I had zero experience in the legal field. I was just a little young girl, shy and not knowing what I wanted to do with my life at that time, other than I knew I needed to raise my children. Went to work and I started filing papers in the file folders in the file cabinet. We had Rolodex index cards, and so this just goes back. Nowadays it's a lot, technology has come a long way since then, but I go all the way back to the DOS computers and the Rolodex index cards that we had on our computer. We just sit and spin a wheel and they were alphabetized. So I've been way back in managing that, and that was what I started doing, was being a file clerk. And then, as a paralegal for the attorney that I worked for at the time, I would always have to organize their files, have their files ready for court. I can't tell you how many times I had my lawyers ready to go to court and try a case. Even before I finished law school and passed the bar, I prepared one of the lawyers I was working for a jury trial. We went in the next week, tried the jury trial, got a favorable verdict. That's just something I've always done. It's something I know, and to me it's second nature. I really don't have to think a whole lot of it. I was one of the very first to use the hour file system when it began some years ago. I can't even tell you how long ago that's been. A lot of us are old school. We don't like changes, but I like to be innovative when possible to make everyone's life more convenient. And so I was one of the first ones to jump on and start using the hour file system, and I use the electronic access system at the probate court that we currently have now, and I use that frequently.